Low energy, unfocused, foggy? You might be dehydrated. Whether it's hot yoga, over 100-degree weather, or too much sun. Gator Light, with a specialized blend of 5 electrolytes, was scientifically designed to help move fluids into the body faster for rapid rehydration. Shop now at retailers nationwide. Gator Light hydrates faster than water. Is it in you? Symptoms noted are signs of mild to moderate dehydration. Consult a healthcare professional if symptoms persist.
This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to Coach Unplugged. And now, your host, Steve Collins.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Coach Unplugged. I'm so happy you decided to join us today. Before we jump into the podcast, I'd like to give a big shout out to our 2 sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish, the number 1 shooting machine on the market. We own 3 of them, and I can tell you personally, even before they became sponsors, their customer service is second to none. Every time I've had any issues with any of my machines, going back to the way old ones, they've always taken really good care of me. Also, go over and check out teachhoops.com. Oh, and mention us, and they'll give you $450 off. Mention Coach Collins or Coach Unplugged, they'll give you $450 off. Also, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. We always tell our players that they should be working on their craft. I challenge you to work on your craft. Come over, join a community of like-minded coaches who want to make this game better. It's the reason I started Teach Hoops, is to help pay the bills for all these podcasts, but even more importantly, to give back to this great game that has given me so much. And to set up a roadmap for you to be successful, not only on the court, but off the court. And we offer a 14-day free trial. So come over and kick the tires around, see if you like it. And let's head off the podcast.
Teammate.
Yeah.
Another value that wasn't so much early, but is much something that we focus on a lot more. And that's just the idea of listening and being a great listener. I say it at the end of our banquets, at the end of the year, when I have everybody together and, you have the opportunity to sort of make a statement about what you're looking for in the future, young kids that want to continue on in the program. And it's basically 2 things, and that's be a great teammate, as I said, and be a great listener. Because if you're a great listener, then you will hear the things you need to hear to be a better player. And then if you're a great teammate, then as you, as you understand what it takes to be better, now you bring people along with you. Now you help your team. Now you're somebody that people want to play with. So to me, it's kind of as simple as those 2 things. Like if you're a great teammate and you're a great listener, everything will shake out as it should. And being a great teammate is not just, waving a towel or slapping 5. Being a great teammate is getting into the gym and doing the work when nobody's watching, so that you're getting better, so that in a month, 2 months, 6 months, you will show improvement on the court that then helps everybody, helps the coaches, helps their teammates. So I think it's important to kind of dissect that. Okay, what does that mean to be a great teammate? And what does that mean to be a great listener? And just create that list. And from there, those are the things that you want to make sure that you're teaching to on a daily basis.
Yeah. And reinforcing those. And yeah, absolutely.
And reinforcing those. Yes.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, I think what's really important is the definitions of those, right? What does it mean to be a great teammate, or what does it mean to be a great listener, right? And drilling into the details, and because otherwise we have our own perceptions, right, of what being well, I give them high fives and I show up for practice all the time. That's a good teammate, or I'm
Yeah.
always doing X, Y, or Z. But in your mind, like you said, I think what's important too is like, no, being a great teammate is you're putting some extra work in. So when you do show up to practice, you're going to be well prepared, as an example, right?
Yeah, because it's not just for you. All that work isn't just for you. All that
Right.
work is for anybody that's going to play with you, anybody that's going to coach you. Um, so it's yeah, that is. I like what you say as far as like creating your definition, and
Yeah.
and you're right. It's not cookie cutter, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't get on here and say it has to be these five things. But if you're a coach and you're like, okay, I hear that, and it makes some sense. Well, then take the time, get in a journal, write out what a great teammate would look like. What does a great listener look like, and go from there. And I as we try to develop these characteristics, I think it's important also to figure out what is going to need to be unlearned and what are the things that we don't
Yeah.
want to do, so that because that's not to go down another path, but one of the things that we have to be aware of is it really is about our helping our players learn.
Yeah.
It's about learning, and part of learning is unlearning. Because for every kid that's trying to be a great teammate, for every kid that's trying to be every kid that's trying to get better, something has to stop being done in order for them to be able to improve.
Yeah.
Something has to, I'll just say it as I say it and think something has to die. No more. It no longer exists in
Mm-hmm.
order to become better. If you're going to cling, and one of the things that throughout this that maybe I'll put in a book plug or an author plug or
Yeah.
another podcast plug, but and one of them is chop wood, carry water, um, and the important thing about that book, chop wood, carry water, is that one of the things that they talk about is that you're not clinging to things. You don't want to cling to things. As we cling to things, it makes it hard for us to move forward. Um, and I'm drawing a blank here on the author of that book. I want to be able to. It will come to me, and I will share that because I think that that's a book that would be good for coaches to read. It was suggested to me by a college coach, and the thing about chop wood carry water is it really is about just being a servant. It's about
Mm-hmm.
being a great teammate. It's about doing things for other people, and then that's where we will gain the greatest amount of pleasure, satisfaction.
Interesting.
This feeling of accomplishment is by helping others.
Joshua Medcalf is the author.
Metcalf, yes, he's
Yeah.
written he's
Yeah.
written a lot of really good, and they're all kind of written in parables and stories, and
Mm.
um, but that would be if there's a coach that's looking for a book that's going to help him or help his or her team. Yeah, chop wood, carry water.
Oh, I like that. I'm gonna add it to my list. The other one that I read recently, well, it's been a while, but again, a parable. John Gordon's book, "Row the Boat."
Yep,
That's another good one, and that came out of the Minnesota Gophers
yep,
football
yep,
coach.
yep.
That's another good one.
And make
Energy
sure
to
everybody's
hustling.
rowing the oars in the same direction. Like
That's right. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. And you said it. You've got a high school coach in the boat. You've got a AAU coach
Yes.
in the
Yeah,
boat. You've
yeah,
got a
yeah.
parent in the boat.
That's right.
You've
Friends,
got
right?
these
Social
people,
media. Yeah.
friends, social media, and you may have a goal as to where you want to get that boat to get to. But if you're fighting, if one side of the is rowing one direction and the other side's rowing in the different direction, you're not going anywhere. And a quote that really has stuck with me for 30 plus years is John Wooden's "Don't mistake activity for achievement."
Yeah. Yep.
It's not good enough to be in the gym, either as a coach or as a player, if you don't have an intention. There's something that you want to focus on that given day. So, just because you're on a boat and you've got all these people in there, you're not going to get where you want to get to if you've got people going in different directions. And
No, that's a good analogy. Yeah, no, absolutely right. Uh, I have this question that just came to me, and this isn't I don't want it to be uh, this is not a rant but you've been coaching a long time, 30 years, and look back, maybe like your first 5 years of coaching, and look at the type of child that you were coaching or young person you were coaching to today's athlete. What what's changed? And it's not a negative. It's, what's the difference between those two athletes?
Well, the athletes are different. I will never forget this, and this was, probably 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Listening to Bobby Knight, and somebody asked a question similar to that, Bill, and he said, kids are not different. It's the adults that have changed.
Interesting.
So he was saying that, from the point when he said that to decades previous, that the kids are still the same, but now the parents and the coaches and the adults in their life, the teachers, they're softening to a degree, or whatever word you want to use, that would create a change. But the kids are no different. That is not the same now, though. These kids have so many different influences.
Yeah.
And I know that people will disagree with this statement, and some people want to just say, well, you can't just continue to blame the pandemic. But the pandemic has created a residual in some of these kids' lives that are the age of high school students. When we went through that, my kids were in kindergarten and second grade. And I don't think it affected them that greatly. I think it was an inconvenience.
Yeah.
But to the high school kid who was maybe in middle school, who was having expectations lowered a little bit because you're sequestered in a room, families are just trying to survive. There's no playbook for how do you parent during a pandemic. So I think where kids probably needed to hear no, where a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old needed to hear no, how do you say no? I'm just trying to survive in a household.
Right.
So, that's not a statement of judgment. It's a statement of survival.
Right.
It's a statement of survival. So now we have these kids who have, they've that's part of their socialization, part of their human development. Was not really hearing no when maybe they needed to hear no, or having the bar raised when it needed to be raised, yet it was lowered just to make sure that these kids were getting through this. Now you talk about, you add the social media, and you add this attention deficit that is happening because it's all quick dopamine. It's all just quick hits. And there is nothing quick about improvement. There's nothing quick about building a team and taking a team and making it like there's no let's just go to Amazon and in 8 hours, if I'm lucky, it's sitting there on the doorstep. Like getting better is having to walk to a sporting goods store and pick it out and walk. So I think to shorten this, let's get to the point. I think the fact that they see things happening too quickly, or they expect things to happen too quickly, and that works against them. You and I, I'm older than you, but still in our generation, things came we understood things coming more slowly.
Yeah. Well, and we talked about
and now
yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Low energy, unfocused, foggy? You might be dehydrated. Gatorade Zero powders have been scientifically designed to help improve hydration balance in the body. With a clinically proven electrolyte blend and no artificial colors or flavors. Great tasting hydration no matter where you're going. Shop now online or at retailers nationwide. Gatorade hydrates better than water. Is it in you? Symptoms noted are signs of mild to moderate dehydration. Consult a healthcare professional if symptoms persist.
This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
I was going to say that now and we might have mentioned this in the last podcast, where it's like, okay, you got to work on your rotate, you got to work on something. A kid will take 3 shots, and then how does it look? Well,
right.
Okay, tell me in 997, and now you've got 1,000 shots, and then we can or 5. So I think they just have this expectation for immediate gratification, which scrolling does for you. It gets you those hits that make you, but they're short-lived, and improvement is not short. It is long, and it's arduous, and it's tough, and it's filled with setbacks, plateaus.
It's not linear, right? It's not linear, right? So you don't grow, just because you put the time in doesn't mean you're going to grow. You could actually go backwards some and then make, you do 3x leaps, right? On the next round. So especially now in that was a great way of saying it, especially if you think about an AAU program, right? You're paying $2,000 for an AAU program for a season, right? Or a year, or however you want to explain it. But the parent is paying, $2,000. Well, if I pay for anything, I expect a return, right? And a lot of parents think this is a transaction. It's not a transaction, and the brain development and the physical development might not be there for your child during that season, right? And it could be delayed. So thinking about growth is, okay, I paid you this money, you're practicing X, you're turning up for tournaments, so I expect Y back. It doesn't work that way. And I think that we have to get out of that mindset.
To that, it is, and this is probably as much for parents as it is maybe for a coach to communicate it. In my opinion, and from my experience, that, and now having a son who's playing basketball and who's 10, going to be 11 soon, I'm investing in his experience with the game of basketball. Mm-hmm. That's where my investment is, so that he improves, so that he can enjoy the game more. Not investing for some outcome 4 years from now that he or she is going to be a college basketball player. Because that is uncontrollable. Where the experience of becoming better, and now I enjoy the game more because I am seeing improvement, well, that's going to lead my son or anybody's son or daughter in a path that potentially moves them towards improvement. And then if that improvement ends up with the result of a college or a college career, then that's fantastic. But if you put that in the front, that's why you're putting all this money, and you're not thinking about their current experience, but you're thinking about some outcome. I mean, it's what we tell our players all the time, like at Akalani's, that you don't want to get connected to your outcomes. You want to connect yourself to the process. I cannot connect myself to the outcomes because a lot of times I don't have full control over that outcome. but I have full control over the process. You know, people have heard attitude, effort. They're the only things that you can really control. So I think the investment, yes, you're investing, but let's just think in terms of investing so they enjoy the sport more. Then let the sport and their talent and their improvement take them somewhere. Otherwise, I think it's just you're setting yourself up for disappointment and failure when you connect too much with the outcomes. And that could be with a shot. Just let the shot fly. It feels good coming off your hand. If it goes in, it goes in. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it aligns with the coach's idea of what a good shot is, what a great shot is. If you miss it, and that's to the youth coach also. Like when you see kids miss a layup and go, oh my gosh, or miss a shot and have some response that you can see, that kid is connecting themselves to the outcome.
Yeah.
And that's last play. That's not next play speed. So I think all of it is connected, and even going back to where is the kid different? Like you can't hack improvement. There's no hack, there's no shortcuts, there's no it's just time, effort, and it's important that the kids got a smile on their face, and they're learning to find the joy in the game and in the process. And if we spend too much time on the results and the outcomes, then it's harder to find the joy. And
absolutely, and it's also the comparison, right? One child versus another, right? You're on a team, so you're seeing how the other players are, and like as we said before, growth is not a linear thing. So you can't compare your child to someone else's. There's multiple reasons why, right? In the development of their brain, their physical ability, etc. They grow in spurts, and both physically and mentally. So it's hard. I get it. It's really, really hard as a parent sitting in the stands, and because you want nothing but the best for your child. And
yes.
But it's really, anyway, it's hard. It's easier for me to say that, but it's
hard.
Well,
and I think that the beauty of your podcast and podcasts in general is that you can just go down these paths that you weren't really intending to go down, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's your greatest find in the podcast, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I've coached for so many years without a child. I'm older. I'm 63 years old, but I have young kids. And so the majority of my career was not with a child that's playing basketball. And so if you're a young coach and you're doing this and you don't have children, you cannot understand how hard it is to be a parent as you watch your child play. Yeah. And that's what I'm learning that now. And it's helping me as a coach that it is hard. Parenting is hard, sitting there and watching your son or daughter play the sport, be subject to decisions that a coach is making, being taken out, being not played. You name it. And let's go back. The parent is in, the grandparent, whomever it is, the guardian is in that boat and is part of the process of rowing the oar. To disclude them and be like, I'm not talking to parents, or it really is not.
Yeah.
I hate the word fair. Anytime my kids ever say fair, it's, I'm trying to eliminate that word from their language. But I think you have to include the parent. There has to be a parent has to feel like they have a pathway to the coach. And sometimes it's the best person that you could ask. Like you said, sometimes you'll include a parent. Nobody knows your player better than their parent in most cases. Just having some ideology that I'm not going to include a parent in any of it is just you're taking what might be the best person that you could ask to figure out how to better coach that person.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. If you'd like to support us, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Also, subscribe and like. We do appreciate those. Have a great day.
There she goes, our baby.
Are we ready for this?
You added her to your AAA auto policy. With 24/7 claim support, she's covered.
Our AAA agent, you're here too?
We're always here for you. Visit AAA.com/insurance to get a quote today.